Alright guys, welcome back to the Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. So today I wanted to go back and look at all of the LRs from, well, last year. And just see kind of how I think they rank today based on where they're at now. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump on into this. I've got the Dokkan wiki up here on the side so I can jump through and pull everybody up as I go. I think I got everybody. I mean, it's pre-anniversary, right? Oh man, I'm on the global version, so it's gonna be wrong. Okay, hold on. Hold on just a second. It's PN dot. I think he's pre-anniversary. I can't remember what time slot he came out in. He's not. He almost slipped through the cracks. He almost got me. So then who's the last pre-anniversary LR? That doesn't look right. That list looks incorrect. That's by release date. There's no way. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So it'd be from them forward. So Omega was last year too? Or is this... No, this is just weird. It's just listed weird on the thing. So Omega's all the way back here. And then here he's... Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Then Genya. I can't believe I almost missed both of those. Wow. Alright then. So... That means my count's off, isn't it? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Yeah, it's 16. Okay, so we're just gonna go in here and add in 2 more rows. What color was that on? Try to keep the color theme going. The second green for that one. 15. So there were $16. I thought 14 looked kind of low. That's right. It was just a tad low. All right. So let's jump right into this. Let me get this back to the regular wiki so it's in English and everything. So first up, and I think the worst unit on this list is probably Ginyu. And I love Ginyu, love him to death. But currently, with where we're at, maybe I should have pulled these up before. There it is. I was gonna say, currently with where we're at, I don't feel that he's the best. Simply because he wants to be surrounded by special pose category allies. And that doesn't work. So like, when he came out, he was good. Because they gave the AGL Ginyu was there, he was good. And there were other units around the Gammas were there, they're good. But, and then they had their support, obviously. But looking at it forward, since they've come out, we've got one free-to-play unit, an LR, some banner units, a Dokkan Fest, and another banner unit. The only of these that are good are these two. Topo was okay on release. But currently, these two are decent units right now. We'll talk about Gotenks a little bit later. But, like, and Kid Trunks is no slouch. He's no slouch. This EZA is solid. But special pose as a team is just, it's not good. It's not in a good spot. Especially not in a good enough spot for me to call him better than some of these other guys that are here. Which really does hurt me because I really, really like LR Ginyu Force. I thought they're so cool. I really wish they weren't just strictly limited to special pose. But maybe if it was like special pose in Namek Saga, I think I would have liked that a little bit more. So they could have possibly gotten buffed a little more frequently. But hey, it is what it is. They had their time to shine, and I'm certain, more than certain, that they'll be back. The Ginyu Force team will make a comeback, and when it does, this is gonna be insane for them. But with that being said, let's get him up there, and then move on to the next biggest loser, if you will. Do I think it might be the game. Hold on, let me read Gohan's kit. because I wasn't prepared for this. I wasn't prepared for Gohan to be here, so I don't remember exactly what he does. Yeah, I remember now. He was mid on release. He was pretty trash on release. That being said, do I think he's next? Maybe. I think so. I think Gohan's next. My reason for saying this is using him on release, he was getting he wasn't performing. It wasn't going well for him. And I want to say I used him not too long ago, and he wasn't looking that good. He's just a fumbled LR to me. You know, which it really, really hurts. Like, this should have been a passive. This shouldn't be on his intro. This, if it'll let me highlight the thing instead of just moving. There we go. This all out has 58%. I think it could have been dropped down to like 40 or something like that, and still been for 2 turns, and it'd be on his passive. Or it could have been 50 and been on his passive as like a, you know what I mean, like something. I don't feel like it's correct to give it in the intro because that's gonna hurt him down the line. So really, he's only giving you that benefit for the first little bit, which really, really sucks that he's only giving that, because that's a really good buff. And if that was for multiple, for more than just the initial turn, I think I would have him a lot higher. Honestly, like, truthfully speaking, I think I would have him a lot higher if that was for multiple turns. But yeah, I think he slides in there next, which that really does hurt me. But moving on, whereas next we've got the Gammas. I'm probably gonna kind of go through some of these a little bit quickly, simply because there's 14 of them here, and I don't want to be here for 2 hours. So, yeah. Anyways, next up's the Gammas. I think the Gammas they were really, really good then. They might be a little low here, but I don't know if I can say that for certain. Because don't get me wrong, a lot of the units that are here, they're not bad. Like, a lot of these are not bad units. You know, they're just, as time's gone on, they slowly have aged out and aged out and aged out. You know, and then they can't keep up necessarily. But this guy is still, well, not this guy specifically. Where's he at? Here it is. This guy, once it updates. This guy, he's still pretty solid. You know, he's got the damage reduction, which is nice. And it's supporting. It's a multiple, I believe he's got a multi-turn support on his super. Yeah. 50% for 2 turns, super class. Like, he might, honestly, there's an argument for him to be that he could be higher. But I think that argument for him comes down to, we'll just go over here real quick. Trying to figure out the best way to find, probably on Androids. Why not? Yeah, Androids, here it is. I think their biggest issue currently for me, and why I don't want to put them higher, is like, I don't necessarily think you're running. This guy wants an either all extreme or all super class team, and I don't think that they're gonna fit very well on that team. Maybe there's a way to squeeze them in. Yeah, it's 3 links. Maybe there's a way to squeeze it in that I'm just not thinking about. And if so, this guy definitely shoots up in value. But currently, I don't think it. I don't think he does. I don't think it's good enough. And then same for Gohan's team. I don't like Gohan as leader. I just don't. I think their best bet I think they need another Android, because they're not gonna be, because it'll be able to activate stuff like Android Assault. If they can get Android Assault up with, like, let's see, Red Ribbon Army, you know, like those type of links, basically, in like a couple months, when these guys EZA, essentially is what it's gonna be. Once these guys EZA, because we should be coming up on that relatively soon, actually. I think these guys will jump up, and I think they'll be relevant again. Not super, super relevant, but I think they'll be in a pretty decent spot. So moving forward after them, I have, unfortunately, my GOAT. Now, my experience with them is It's sad. It's very tragic. It feels like since he's released, it's felt like he is underpowered to me, and not like in a vast way since he's released, but it was like he was just weak enough that he wasn't obliterating content at the time, and as time's gone forward, he's just slowly and slowly kind of slipped more and more into that obscurity, which is, it really hurts to say because, dude, I love this guy. I love this guy to death. However, like, it's little stuff that I nitpick. I guess not nitpick, that bothers me so much. Like this, he transforms and he can only do that on, what is it, turn 5, I believe? Oh, let me go back and active skill. 4th turn from this entry turn. So you get him on turn 1, he comes back on turn 3, and then he comes back on turn 5, and you transform. And then he comes back on turn 7, and you can use his taunt. Like, that's not good enough. He needs to be able to transform on turn 3, taunt turn 5, or transform on turn 5, taunt in the same rotation. I think that would help him a lot. I think it would truthfully help him an insane amount. Because he's one of the units that, it goes for a lot of units. The hardest fights in the game right now are the battle-hardened warriors. I mean, obviously there's the 50 phase fight, but me personally, I don't count that. Because I know everyone's like, oh, or Truth specifically says that we're going to get more of those. We're going to be getting, like, that's where we're headed towards in content. I don't believe that's the case. My reasoning for not believing that's the case is I don't think that it's very smart for a phone game to go down the route of 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, a run for one run for an event and, like, make that their main form of content. I don't think that'll engage well with players. Me personally, I don't play the event. I haven't beaten it because I want to know item A. The B, after the first few days, I just stopped trying because I don't want to sit down and dedicate 2 to 3 hours to an event, and I know I'm not the only one. That I did not realize how much the quality would decrease. Holy. Alright then. Anyways, as I was saying, I know I'm not the only one who thinks like that. And so I really doubt that they'll take that route. So considering that we have, most of these fights are shorter phases or shorter fights, you're not going to be seeing this guy's taunt. You're not. By the time you get to turn 7, he's going to get you killed. You know what I mean? Honestly, this guy gets me killed a ridiculous amount. And it's upsetting. It really does hurt to say that about him, because I love him so much. Now, coming in just after him is the guy who came out with him. I don't think it's wrong to say that Broly is better. I don't think he wasn't better then, but now he's gotten a lot better. Specifically with the release of Int Broly, I think is what made him so much better. And a lot of the teams in the game, God, dude, I love this art so much. Like, I love the Broly and Gogeta arts. Like, they are honestly peak. Like, honestly, some of the best arts in the game. Specifically, this is like this right here when you see the beam behind him. That right there. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Sorry. This guy on release, I didn't think he was that good, and the more that I used him, I kind of soured on him more. Because after his domain ran out, this guy was a fish. Which was a problem. However, the games went down a route where you're popping domain after domain after domain with this team specifically. So, it's kind of saved him, honestly. Because by the time you're out of domains, the fight's usually over. And so this guy, for me, he's gained a good bit of value. And he's not as bad as he was for me on release. I mean, I'm not reading their kits that much because they are, over a year old. Most people probably know what these units do. So I'm not going super in-depth in their kits. And I'm just kind of talking about my feelings towards them. My reason for doing it, like I said, they are so old. If you guys want to see me talk more about the kits and actually go through and read them out and break down the kits while I do this, By all means, just let me know in the comments and I'll start doing that instead. But I don't think that it's necessary for me to do that, because like I said, they're super old. Most people know what they do. But anyways, sorry, back to what I was saying. For me, this guy's gained a lot of value, and it really helps him a lot, because if I remember correctly, he transforms. Where is it? On the 5th turn? I thought he was a turn earlier than Gogeta. Never mind. That's unfortunate. Never mind. That doesn't help him. I was thinking he was a turn earlier. Oh well. But anyways, yeah. Moving forward, that's where we've got at 12. Oh man, this pains me. This pains me so much. I love him to death, but after the performance that I saw from them the other day, dog, I don't even. Oh, it hurt me. It hurt me so much. I feel like ego right now, and what's it called? The Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It killed me to put that Tomb Raider head, kind of that scene. That's what I felt like bringing this unit up, like putting them on this list. That's what that felt like to me. Oh man, like, they're really good. They support. The problem with them is that they can't take a hit. Literally, their entire issue is this. It's their 12 key super. If they got defense on their 12 key super, this unit would still be good. Then that is the big kicker. Well, that, and of course, let me come over here real quick. They don't have a current leader. Like they don't have any current leader, which is also a really, really bad thing for them. Like, there's the best leaders they have are 200%. He's not on Goku's boosted category. He's just on Goku's base team, and so like that really hurts them. So I think I might be able to move them up a little bit higher if, say, they actually got a 220, like a proper 220 to 230% leader skill. I would like to go back and revisit them at that point and see if they are better and if they hold up better, or not if they do, because I know they'll do better at that point. But I'm curious to see how much, because it might actually bump them up a little bit, because their support is insanely valuable. Now, the next unit here, never mind, that's not the next unit here. So moving forward, they're at 11. It pains me to do it, but that's just where they are. Next, I got Cellmax, which I find funny. Actually, I find it really funny, because I used to love Cellmax. Like, I mean, love this guy. He was the GOAT. You could put him in front of anything, and he was gonna tank. And yeah, that's still the case. However, there's starting to be some issues that are coming up with him, like this. And it wanting only artificial life forms or super bosses. Otherwise, it's turn 6 with all extreme class allies. That's not good. You know, like, that is a bad condition, just outright. And I think that's his biggest detractor. If that wasn't there and it was just a better, a better active condition, I think he would shoot way up on this list. There's really not much to cover here. I feel like his defense just doesn't keep up as well as it used to. I mean, he doesn't have, he only guards for a little bit of time, so after that he's just doing it with raw defense and a little bit of damage reduction, which he may or may not have. So it just, yeah, to me he doesn't hold up, which is very unfortunate. So next we've got number 9, and this is where I got mixed up at. So, for me, I've got Jiren at number 9. And I could be wrong, because there are 2 units on this list that I haven't used. I haven't used Jiren because I don't have him. And the same thing goes with Gohan and Piccolo, because I don't have them. So, my rankings of them is going to be a little off, simply because I don't have them. I wish that I did. I thought about picking up Gohan and Piccolo with coins, but I don't feel like that'd be a wise decision currently, because they are an older unit, so I'll just pull them later. But, anyways. So right now I've got Jiren here. And I think Jiren is still good. Like, I think he's still very usable. And the teams that he's on, he's super valuable on. Like, for example, Universe 11, Super Bosses, Defenders of Justice. Even Space Traveling Warriors isn't looking that hot. You know what I mean? It's like he's valuable on his team. Honestly, I might be able to bump him up a bit. I think I can. And counting team value, I think Jiren gets bumped up to here. Yeah, I think I do that. That changes our new number 9, but here's our new number 9. I mean, surprise, surprise. This is a segue off Jiren and into them. So my gripe with this guy is they're not that they want Namekians or Planet Namek Saga units, one or the other. And well, you see, this category is bone dry, aside from these 2 EZAs. Or sorry, these 4 EZAs and Vegeta. But mainly these 4 EZAs. Bone dry. Nothing. Namekians? Don't even get me started on Namekians. Abysmal. Literally abysmal. So, yeah, that's why they're so low. I don't think they're a bad unit. I think they're a pretty good unit, but dog, when you need this, you need Namekians or Planet Namek Saga, and it just doesn't exist. I can't put you high up. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't. So, yeah. Now, the next unit I've got on here is this guy. This also hurts me a lot, because this dude, he used to be the best unit in the game. Once upon a time, he was the best unit in the game. Now, what's happened to change that is pretty simple, honestly. A lot of his teams are watered down with already, because what he brought to the table wasn't any utility. It wasn't a, hey, I'm gonna provide support and all this. It wasn't that. It was literally what he brought to the table was just insane damage, which he can still output, just not. It's not that insane anymore because of where we are and power creep. Damage is always the first thing to go, which is super unfortunate for this guy because he got hit hard with it. Now, his active is still insanely good because you can max out the damage counter with literally not having to pick up an orb for the rotation. So you can just start out an encounter and just instantly maxed out damage counter hit and blow them away and kill a lot of bosses. So I think he's still really good. I just don't think he's as good. I think he's taken a lot of hits. And then we've got Jiren now at 7. So, moving into these last 6, I miscounted. That's funny. That is funny. I knew something didn't make sense. Alright. Well, anyways, moving into the last 5, not last 6. We've got Broly. I think Broly's next. Now this is, like I said, he's a very, very usable unit. You know what I mean? He's not bad at this point by any means necessary. And he's what honestly makes AGL Broly to me so good, or so much better. Because this guy gets his turn 1 domain on his team. He has turn 1 domain. And then it runs out on turn 3. You pop the friend's domain, which runs out on turn 6. And then on turn 6, you pop AGL Broly domain. And so you are literally under a domain the entire fight. And that being a feature for this guy is absolutely nuts. Like, I can't stress enough how good that is. I think the one thing, my one gripe about this unit, and my one and only gripe, is... Actually, never... Yeah, no, I think it is. I think it's my one and only... No, there are two. Sorry, I forgot. This down here, his support, is only on his revival, not any revival, which is super unfortunate. Really hurts him. But the biggest issue is he doesn't get anything in his passive. He doesn't get additionals, crits, or dodge, which I think is unacceptable for a 2024 release. especially for a worldwide download celebration release, I think that is just wildly unacceptable, which is really unfortunate. But besides that, I think he's really good. If he had that in his kit, like a dodge or additional, specifically additionals, if he had additionals in his kit, I think I would be a lot more inclined to place him a little bit higher. So moving forward on the list, we've got this guy. Now, this guy's here purely on his domain alone. Like, I don't think he's that good personally, but I don't have good luck with UI Gokus and dodging. They get hit when I do that. So my reasoning for him being here is literally, let's see, where's that? This right here. It nullifies attacks that are guaranteed to hit. So the fights that cancel dodge, he uncancels your dodge. He's also like one of the 3 superclass domains in the game, and since we've had domains for like the past 3 years, so that's also a big buff for him. But yeah, so I think that's where his main value comes from. Don't get me wrong, he can go, when he transforms into MUI, he can put up some impressive damage, and he can look really good. However, I don't think that that's where his true value is. I think his true value is his domain, and that's his biggest like push to get him up into these tiers. Now, I made a mistake earlier with doing this with the numbering here. So we're literally just gonna go because that's. I think it jumps. I think these guys are a jump in quality from UI Goku, and it's Gotenks, and Gotenks is the GOAT. Ironically enough, though, every time in my videos that you see me using Gotenks, I'm talking some obscene shit about this unit. That being said, he's really good. I just have issues with him because I was faced with the choice of Gotenks or Jiren. Chose Gotenks, and then needed Jiren a lot. But that's we're not here to discuss that and my personal feelings about this unit and the history that I have with it. More so, we're looking at how good he is, and he's good. He's as the last unit that come out before anniversary. Usually, that slot is in a really, really bad position. But this guy did not. He didn't falter. He did good. Or not last, but one of the last units. Like the December time slot is usually just bad for units. But this guy, he crushed it. He's still good even after all the power creep from anniversary. He's not outright amazing or perfect. He still has his issues, but he's still insanely good. Especially when you have a coin flip to just take no damage from a super attack. Like, that's amazing. But yeah. Anyways, moving on from that, we're gonna go here and drop down and fill out the rest of it. It's pretty straightforward who we have here. My ranking has actually changed a little bit though, after using them a little more. I think I'm doing this now instead. Now, we all know how good Beast and Broly are. They're insanely good. They're slot ones, which the game was severely lacking in on their teams, or on the anniversary teams at least. And both of them are just insane slot ones. Absolutely crush it. My reasoning for swapping it out is Beast Team Protector mechanic. You can use that a lot more, and like I said, a lot of these fights are more now. They're multiple fights inside of a stage, not multi-phase fights. Like, they are multi-phase fights, but they're multiple fights inside of a stage, not just one fight with a ton of phases. So I think that gives Beast a little bit more, what's it called? I can't think of the word. A little bit more value, a little bit more potency, because he has the Team Protector mechanic, and you can use that over and over again. I think that is insane value. Now, don't get me wrong, Broly's no slouch. Broly's really good too. However, I don't think that currently, as things stand, that Broly is better than Beast. You know, like, it's just. Am I going over them? He's right here. I went over him I don't know how many times. Wow. Okay. Oh, this is global. That's what we're gonna blame it on. This is global and everything's in a weird spot. But yeah, Broly's no slouch. The first turn, he's literally unkillable. He's just unkillable. You don't have to worry about him. Then he comes back, and then he gets... my biggest issue with this Broly, though, and another reason why I think Gohan is better, is he has to go in slot 1. If he's not in slot 1, he's not nearly as good, and he gets very sketchy defensively. Now, my problem with that is, recently we've been getting fights that are locking attack, or locking rotations, a good bit, and when that happens, that obviously really hurts this guy. I've lost a good few runs because this guy got locked in slot 2 or 3, and got decimated because he didn't have guard. So, I mean, I get it. I really do. I get it. He's really good. Don't get me wrong, he's amazing. But he's just... I don't think he's better than Beast anymore. And then, obviously, there's the Beast Gohan, who's... yeah. Basically unkillable for the first, 5 turns? First 5 to 7 turns of the fight. And after that, he becomes a decent unit. Anyway, he drops down from being unkillable to pretty good. So, I mean, yeah, it's pretty cut and dry. Let me know how you guys feel about this, what changes you would make. Just looking at it, I think I'm pretty solid on most of my picks. I might move UI Goku a little bit. He might drop down a spot, maybe. Maybe the Gammas could jump up a little bit, possibly, but these guys, it's like they're sorted, like they're blocked out. Like these two, they're dead set where they are. These 3, that's like their own block, if that makes sense. Same with these 3. And then these, I guess, 4. And then these guys I think this is pretty definitive. But, yeah. Anyways, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Yeah. I'm curious to see, how do you guys feel about these units? Like, how do you guys feel about this tier list? And who do you think is the best unit of 2024 now? Or, like, your top 5, I guess, is a better way of putting it, because the top 3 is pretty straightforward. I'm curious about who the 4 and 5th spot go to. So, yeah. Anyways. That being said, just drop that down below, because like I said, I am curious. I'll probably go through and make some showcase videos for some of these guys and just go back and do a proper revisit. But we'll see how that goes. That being said, I'm going to get out of here. Peace out, y'all. Best of luck if you're still summoning. If not, good on you. Golden Week should be here. And we've got what? What is today? Today is Sunday, April 10th. So we have a total of 5 days until the Golden Week banners drop. So save up. That's another thing. Drop down below. How many stones y'all got? How many stones y'all got for Golden Week? What do we think we're getting? I'm curious. But yeah. Anyways, like I said, I'm gonna get out of here. Peace out, y'all. Hope y'all are having a great day. If not, I hope it gets better. But stay safe, y'all.